Hi chess friends, this is King's Executor from Germany. Okay, today we'll have a model game of the standard uh, playing in the Benko Gambit accepted. And this is really a nice model game to see black's ideas. And this is a game between Hans Ree, a Dutch grandmaster who awarded the IM title in 1968 and the GM title in 1980, and he was Dutch champion four times between 1967 and 1982. So this guy is no newbie, and he played Viktor Korchnoi, who is one of the most important chess legends, as you probably know, and he explored novelties in several openings. And I haven't seen many games of Korchnoi playing the Benko Gambit, but I think the Benko Gambit is a nice weapon at grandmaster level to kind of surprise your opponent. It's a really easy planned opening, and you really get your first 10 to 15 moves really freely to develop your pieces. This is why this opening is employed. So let's start off. The Benko Gambit is planned against the Queen's pawns game, and it starts with b5. Okay, after a6, in those times this game was played on Wijk aan Zee in 1980. Back then, this quiet variation of e3, having an eye on b5, was the main line. Nowadays they play e4 in one move, or actually they wait with moving this pawn, because as I said and mentioned in other Benko videos on my channel, this square is really important, and you see on those other videos why this is the case. Okay, quiet variation here. Korchnoi prepares his normal Benko development, still giving the chance to Gambit here. White still declines it at the moment, and after some developing moves, White takes the pawn. Okay, you could recapture the pawn immediately if you want to. You could do it one move later. Korchnoi castled. Bishop e2, and in this position, you know, a modern player maybe would prepare other moves. For example, maybe a4, and after that, queen to c2, maybe even another setup with queen to c2 now, and this is because black is planning to take on a6 with a bishop, and afterwards exchange it. And if this bishop moves, as it does in the game, it kind of wastes a tempo. Now Korchnoi took on a6, and if White takes on a6 with his bishop, White lost the tempo. So White castles for the time being, and Korchnoi employs the most active location for the queen, which is a5. In my previous video you saw the rook lift and queen to a8 opposing a king on g2. This is not the case in this moment. You know, this pawn moved up and the king castled by hand, and then this queen would really make sense here. Okay, in this position queen a5 is straightforward and correct and very active. e4 now. So this is why it is the quiet variation. You play slowly as white, and you see black really knows where to put the pieces without thinking. Sometimes this is firing backwards back to you as black if you start playing automatic chess. In some positions this might be really a wrong approach, but still this is the 11th move, and as you see you have no problems whatsoever to develop as black. You get your free development, a solid pawn structure, you know, as you can tell, solid pawn structure, more compact as white's pawn structure. You have two pawn islands, and this favors black's endgame. So black would like to exchange queens and pressurize the pawns on these two open files, semi-open files for the rooks and for the queen at the moment. And this pawn is already passed, and this is an important move, an important pawn to move sometimes c4 against the white queen side sometimes, and giving this knight a retreat, important outpost, or in the end game to simply queen it if possible. So this is the positional features of the Benko Gambit accepted. White tries really to attack in the center, and he does it really fast. He prepares the e5 push, which is thematic. Often there's a bishop involved. Sometimes if the knight moves, f4 is in the mix. But black is theoretically rock solid, and it is not at all easy to attack black. So black for the time being still employs his Benko positions, and now white takes this bishop, and you see white moved this bishop twice just to exchange it for a piece that moved only once. This even gives black time to, you know, organize the counterplay fast. Korchnoi took with the queen, and he had the follow-up with e5 in mind. But let's look at the other possibility, which would be totally correct as well. Queen a6 is correct, and rook a6, you know, is really helping as well. If white pushes e5, we recapture, exchange the knight in the center, and now e7 is weak and needs to be protected, and this is done easily with rook to a7. And now you would think, what after queen to e2? You know, you don't want to be passive with queen to c7, or You know, you could even try maybe rook up to b7, but in this position you can really activate all the resources in the position with playing knight to g4, and this has only one reason really. You activate your Benko bishop and you immediately put pressure on the queen side with almost all of your pieces. Meanwhile, this rook is attacked, so it has to move for now, and I think the most correct move would be rook e4 or even rook g5, with the idea to capture this knight no matter from which square, because now bishop takes c3 would be played, and this is really strong. White cannot take back with pawn takes, because you see this rook in conjunction with the queen taking on c3 makes white lose the rook on a1. So white really has to leave the bishop where it is. It is kind of immune, and white gets to take on g4 and rook to d7, attacking the pawn, and still capturing is not possible. Maybe white could try a kingside attack here, but after centralization and a further centralization, I think black is really fine. If takes, you see these pieces in the center are at the same time protecting and defending. The rook could come to each of these squares, and on f5 it would even support this attack. You know, black has the advantage in this position. Rook to e4 takes, and the rook takes here, as mentioned already. Okay. So this is what would happen if we recapture with the rook on a6 and move it back to a7 to defend in this position. Korchnoi chose queen takes a6, and if white pushes now, as Grandmaster Ree did, then we have the same first maneuvers here, and queen to d6, easy to see but nevertheless a really important and effective move. Firstly, locating this pawn, secondly, attacking this rook, and thirdly, defending e7 if needed. You can find another defender here after that, doubling up rooks here. So very strong queen move. White could find nothing better than to move the rook back, and now black has counterplay. Bishop g5, knight takes, and after exchanges in the center and exchange here, both players agreed a draw. So you see, the Benko Gambit correctly played is absolutely sound, really easy to play. You find your moves very fast. This is why I like this opening that much, and it has a lot of nice ideas. I hope you rate and comment my videos, and hope to see you soon again. Goodbye.